Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here and welcome back to Crossout. And today we have the biggest build ever. Equipped with a powerful engine and weighing in at over 19 tons. This is the Pain Train. Or War Rig, depending on what you look at. And it is armed with two turreted 76mm cannons, capable of rotating in nearly every direction, except of course forward, because this is a broadsider vehicle. I have tried broadsiders before, and this is my first real attempt with something this big. So that is why it is this big and this heavy. It has over 2,000 structure points. It has the ability to climb up almost any surface because of the hardened tracks mounted near the center, and is capable of rotating in a very, very tight space without any difficulty whatsoever. So, for a vehicle of this size, it certainly isn't slow. Or at least it would be if it wasn't, well, moving at this speed currently. Yeah, so it's not the fastest vehicle around, but it certainly does turn really well, which is good because we need to be able to get the guns on point really, really quickly. And just to give you an idea, the 76mm on the rear there are actually capable of doing a full circle in just barely seconds, and they reload in about 2.5 to 3 seconds, which is very, very fast for what they are. And of course I can set them up on separate firing triggers so they can actually fire independently. So, one tough vehicle. The only problem is, in fact, the only thing that's tougher than this vehicle is the Matchmaker, because this vehicle has a power score of over 6,000, meaning it can't actually get into matches yet. That's a problem. So yeah, that's the main problem I have with this vehicle. Yes, this is actually on a promo account. I had the fortune this week to actually get a hold of a promo account, and this is definitely not a vehicle that I can actually play in PvP, even though it is actually set up for PvP with the cannons there. There are in fact 3 ammo packs inside this vehicle, which allows it to have 24 rounds per cannon. And of course, if I change firing triggers there, we've got the forward gun on the left mouse button and the rear gun on the right mouse button there. So it is definitely a very, very powerful vehicle indeed. So what is it for then? Well, at the moment I can basically only do PvP, and as luck would have it, the only PvP available are races. So that's not something we can go into. However, we can try getting into an invasion and see if anybody's playing. This is going to be interesting. So, for those of you who are unaware of what invasion mode is, well, it's Leviathan mode, essentially. You fight, well, rather, you have to protect this over here from a Leviathan, who, I believe is AI controlled? Either way, they are more powerful than any other vehicle in existence. And I'm currently trying my best to shield this guy from the shots being fired right now, but I really don't have a lot of armor, so I am just losing all of my health there, because it is hitting the cabin. So that has really badly shredded my armor already. So yeah, in addition to having to defend this building over here, which is actually taking fairly significant damage. Oh, we got a ram kill there. We also have to fight these Leviathans, which, as you can see, are really not easy to beat. Alright, we've got one respawn. Hopefully we can make use of it. The health on that one was really going down right now. Alright, so I can say we definitely didn't do so well that time round, so hopefully we can do a little bit better this time. Gonna try and get in a little bit closer. And, oh god, he's right there. Right, back it up. Just giving the cannons a little bit of time to zero in before we pull the trigger. And we can absolutely hammer them. And just how fast these cannons reload is just absolutely insane. Just trying to score some hits here. Trying to be as accurate as possible. And, oh dear, yeah, that thing is really taking a beating at the moment. So we're going to have to go around to the other side right now. Oh, there it is. Alright, going to try and get around here. Oh, that was a good hit. That was definitely a good hit. So, of course, as I've said many times, one of the main issues with running a cannon build is really just the lack of ammo. That really, really hurts, especially in situations like this. Oh, well, that's half of our vehicle gone. Well, if you want to know why that happened, stay till the end of the video, because I'll be breaking down the build and showing you exactly what happened there. But in the meantime, we've got a building to protect. This is not going well. Alrighty, here we go. So the Leviathan mode is not easy. Let's put it that way. It really isn't easy. And honestly, trying to run a cannon build in PvE, that alone isn't easy either. You can definitely damage them pretty severely, but honestly, it's not something that is recommended, because even with the ammo packs, you're really going to run out of ammo very quickly, especially with the rate that these fire at. Now, you could replace these with autocannons. Those would definitely work very well. And at the same time, you could also replace them with just about anything else as well. Now, I did experiment with shotguns on this. But the main issue with that is trying to be as close as possible with something that is this slow and this heavy isn't really going to work out that well for you. As we found out with the Eviscerator Mark 1, big, heavy tanks really aren't good at closing distance. So don't try that sort of build unless you've got speed. Alright, so let's try and get some shots in here. Now, in case you're wondering, this is an easy race mission. And, can't seem to lead the target enough to really get it. Yeah, the main flaw with this design, really, is just the armor is all up front, and actually you spend most of your time sideways, which definitely isn't good. But then again, it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I think so. I think it looks amazing, so that's why it is designed the way it is. I really can't aim. Well, good thing we've got some very fast teammates, because otherwise this would be really excruciatingly painful to get through. We can fire over our own cab, which is interesting. It's the only time we can actually fire forward. And one more shot, one more shot. Come on, come on. Oh, nailed him. There we go. That's what we like to see. Come here, you. Oh, nicely done. You pushed him into the acid and fell in yourself. Ah, what a lovely day. Let's try to cover these guys and let them get over to the objective. Come on. Come on. There we go. Just putting some shots in here. Alright, I'll finish him off then. That is a bit of a waste of a cannon shell, though. Really don't like having to do that. It is, of course, best if you are running a cannon build to try to use that the blast effect to your advantage, trying to knock the faster vehicles off balance and trying to knock off as many parts as possible. Because really unbalancing them really does go a long way to immobilizing them. Something to bear in mind. You don't always have to be particularly accurate, but getting close enough, in fact trying to hit underneath them, can actually be to your advantage more so than hitting directly if that's going to be tricky. That said though, I don't run cannon builds that often, so it's not something I'm particularly used to. Let's see if we can get a ram in here. I don't think we're going to be able to. These guys are significantly faster than us. No, that's not going to happen. Alright then. That's one shot away, and another one. And a slight little bit of splash damage there. Nothing too significant. And let's... Alright, so we don't really need to worry about capturing all of these things, because there is a runner going around getting it for us, and they seem to be doing a very good job of it, so kudos to them. Alright, trying to get the approach. One shot away, two shot away, and both missed. Yeah, the inaccuracy of the cannons while moving definitely is not an advantage whatsoever. Let's see if we can get it. Yes, cannons do work at close range too. And there we go. Just making use of the train plow up front to really kind of get enemies exposed. Because of course, that's one thing to do as well. If you've got plows on the front of your vehicle, you don't always have to use them for ramming damage. You can always push enemies into the line of fire or push them off cap zones and all sorts of other things. And that's an easy win for us. Alrighty, so let's break down the build. Now obviously this is a hilariously over-designed build, and there's a lot of decor items, so we really just want to look at what's actually gone into this. Now, the first thing that you'll see right up here, I've actually put this exposed. Normally I wouldn't have, but I exposed this because it kind of looks really nice. I would have put a V8 engine in there, even though that would have actually worked. Wouldn't have been as good as this powerful engine that we have here. But it would have looked a lot nicer up front, so I would have actually done that. But I don't have one on this account, so I didn't do that. But yes, this is a powerful engine, and this is really just to help with the mass limit. As you can see, we're very, very close to the top of the limit there, so this actually really does help with allowing you to still maintain a decent acceleration despite how heavy the vehicle is. So, of course, 19,229 kilograms is quite a lot of mass to move, so this definitely helps. Now, we've got these hardened tracks. Now, these will help with getting around obstacles such as water. You're not going to suffer as much movement penalty, but it is going to limit your top speed, so don't expect to be zipping around all that quickly. But to compensate for that, I have actually put wheels on the front and rear, so this doesn't pivot, but it does allow it to turn very tightly. I could even improve that by making this set of wheels steering wheels as well. That will definitely help. So the only real weak point in this case, from the front anyway, are these medium wheels. They're purely just there for aesthetic purposes. I can actually put a bunch of twin wheels up the front as well, because those have more than double the amount of structure points. But they don't really look the part as well, unfortunately. So you can see what I've gone with up front here with this cab here at the front, but the cabin is very badly exposed, so if you are going to go and attempt to build like this yourself, just be aware that you probably have to widen a structure like this at the front quite significantly for it to actually have any coverage at the front. But if you're just going for the looks, then this works just fine. These are a bunch of large fenders. In fact, these here are large fenders as well, and they work quite well at making that sort of front hood type shape that you see on American big rigs. And that's sort of the look that we're going for here. I put a little ramp at the front just to protect the engine from damage. But that really isn't really the sort of look I want, but it's what parts I have to work with right now. Now, these fence pieces on the side are really the only source of armor on the vehicle with the amount of damage they can actually negate from hitting the actual cabin. Now, what I would ideally do instead is actually armor up the entire side of the cabin, knowing that the cabin will be very exposed when you're firing from the side, and knowing that this vehicle only engages from the side. Now, the train plow at the front is the main source of armor on the front. It has 538 points of structure, and it does actually do some decent collision damage, with the spike planks up here just providing extra protection for the wheels, because in early test runs the wheels did come off very easily. Not that it really affected us, because the weight balance is actually somewhere near the center here, so the tracks are actually more than capable of actually holding the vehicle up. So you don't really lose any steering ability whatsoever when they're lost. So really just an aesthetic wheel, which is something I've not actually tried before. Now, the other parts that you see here, these medium struts do help with negating damage around the bottom half of the cabin, but really they're also just there for aesthetic purposes. So I did mention before that the entire back end got destroyed very, very quickly. You might be wondering why. Why did the back of it suddenly explode? Well, I'll show you right here. So if I just move this bumper out of the way and this pipe shield out of the way, what we actually have here is a heavy generator. So you might have noticed that the energy that we have at the moment is 13 points. That's not the highest that you can get in the game, though. You can get up to 15, but what we actually have here is just an additional 2 points of energy, and that's on top of the 11 that you get from the truck cabin. And the reason we've done that is so that we can run this powerful engine right here, and we can also run these two turreted 76mm cannons, which use 6 points of energy each. Now, if you would use fixed cannons, you could actually get them for 5 points each, meaning you don't need the generator, and you can in fact mount an auxiliary weapon as well. However, I wanted it to be able to fire to both sides, hence why I used the turreted cannons instead. So that gives us a total of 13 points, so 6 and 6 over here, making 12, and the engine up here with it making it 13. Now, the tyre over here actually has 17 points of structure, which was surprising for something that's a decor item. That's why I've put it there. Alternatively, you can actually put fence pieces instead, and that's far more effective at actually negating damage. Same with the tin caps over here, which were originally aesthetic pieces, but they actually do help with just protecting these fenders down here, which really don't have a lot of structure points at all. Now, the actual case over here where the turrets are mounted, this is actually made up of two different parts. This is a truck door on its side, which gives us 90 points of structure there, and these are half walls, which are part of the sort of truck pieces there. I believe you can get these by leveling up with the scavengers. These are very heavy parts indeed, and these will actually allow you to add a lot more structure, but the downside, of course, is they're very heavy. Looking at this half wall here, it's a 216 kilogram piece. So really only useful to build up structure for things that are meant to be particularly heavy, and in which case you will need heavier class engines. Now, in order to keep the weight somewhat down, we actually have Avia slopes here, and Avia panels, and these are actually 22 points of structure for 36 kilograms. So for something that's probably not going to be hit as often, these are perfectly fine. Alternatively, you could make them out of grills as well to save even more weight, but you do want to be aware of where the balance is. Now, in the middle over here, which is another weak spot of the war rig here, is that these are actually ammo boxes, or ammo packs. There are 3 of them in total, so if I move this barrel over here, you can actually see there are 3 of them in total. Now, alternatively, you can swap this out for the much larger ammo packs, which will give you even more. However, be aware that they deal even more damage when they explode. Expanded ammo packs do help very significantly with ammo reserves, but as with any cannon or even any missile or rocket build, you are going to find yourself running out of ammo very, very quickly. So just bear that in mind. Always have a backup weapon. Cannon-only builds are very dangerous to run. So something to bear in mind there. They might be powerful, but you can't fire them forever. Now, you might have noticed in the PvE match at the last bit we didn't run out of ammo, and that's really the only situation in PvE where cannons seem to be okay, but when you go into invasions or anything more difficult than that, you are going to suffer quite badly. Now, these twin wheels are actually quite useful. I've actually been looking forward to using them, mainly because they actually have 135 points of structure, but on top of that, they can increase your maximum tonnage by 1.3 tons. So if you're going for a wheeled build instead of something with tracks, you might actually want to look at getting some twin wheels, because they do increase your tonnage very significantly without really limiting your top speed at all. Just bear in mind that they are quite heavy though, and they are going to need a more powerful engine. Well, they are going to need the powerful engine in order to be effective. Although, if you're making a slow-moving wheeled vehicle, these are perfectly fine as well. But yeah, I'm very happy with this build. It's actually been a very interesting and very aesthetically pleasing build, at least to me anyway. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and obviously this is a promo account, this is a level 40 build, so there's a lot of parts here that a lot of people are not aware of yet, or haven't reached at the stage of getting yet in this section of the closed beta, so let me know what parts you're looking forward to being able to play with, what sort of builds you're looking forward to doing, and if you're getting into the game, have you tried any heavy builds yet, and let me know how you got along with them. But that's it from me. Don't forget to leave a like if you've enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. My name is Panzer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.